Guenther Steiner has got to go, and even if you think Ralph Schumacher's a dick, which a lot of people do, many stories to tell you about that. Jensen Button saying he would kick and scream and yell at Frank Williams and not even look him in the eyes when he was a teammate, and many, many other stories. But I have to give Ralph his point here. He's absolutely correct. And a lot of people would say maybe it's sour grapes. Ralph's mad because Mick Schumacher was treated so poorly by Guenther Steiner and Haas after what he did for the team. Now, Guenther Steiner would say back to that, yeah, he destroyed a car a lot of times and wouldn't listen. But let me tell you, there was one point in the season of Mick Schumacher, his last season with Haas, where they did well at Austria and he was faster than Magnussen. He got past him. He got like 6 points. And all of a sudden, after having no points, not scored any points his first season with a terrible car, with the worst car on the grid, with Nikita Mazepin next to him, and with a car that couldn't do much the next season, but Kevin Magnussen did get a P5, he started criticizing the team for not letting him buy, for not doing as much as they could have to get him points. And there was a tone in Guenther Steiner's voice over the radio and after that was reported, a huge yelling match, saying that he should never disrespect a team like that. Mick Schumacher is a guy who had never scored points or done anything significant up until that point. But this is the wrong thing. You should have appreciated it. You should have said, Mick, you know what? We could have done this or that, but just remember this is your first time. He could have foster that energy to get Mick Schumacher to be even greater than he was at the team. But Guenther Steiner took it personally. And on top of everything, that's really a side note. It has nothing to do with what I'm saying, but it is a story that encapsulates Guenther Steiner. The guy has been in Formula One for a long time, worked for Jaguar, started up with Red Bull right before they got really good. He was the first guy they kind of looked at. This guy is no longer able to get done what he needs to get done. The car improved last year, and nothing has happened since that. And it's a good point because this is a small team. This isn't a Ferrari. This is not a Red Bull. This is not a Mercedes. It's a super small team funded by Gene Haas, an American guy who wanted to go into Formula One to have some success. And Nico Hülkenberg is saying, listen, I get the car well in qualifying, but I can't do anything in the race. And I think they're going to drop Kevin Magnussen, possibly get a better driver in there. But the thing is, even if you do, the car is not performing. Nico Hülkenberg, believe it or not, is a really damn good driver. He never got the chance to really go to a team where he could have won a race or even gotten a podium. He still holds the record for having the most Formula One races without a podium. But he was about to go to Ferrari until Luca Di Montezemolo axed the decision and said Kimi Räikkönen is going to return to Ferrari with Vettel, which just destroyed Hülkenberg's career. And he was a really fast guy who was just in the middle pack teams, was never able to get there. And he's doing way better with the car than Kevin Magnussen is, but he's not able to do much. And for a guy with that much experience, that much talent with Nico Hülkenberg saying he can't get it done, it's the car, it's the team, it's the organization, it's the principles behind it. Guenther Steiner has some weird attitude where he wants to be friends with people and then curse and make this bloviating, kind of ass out of himself, and I just don't get it anymore. You can't be all this charismatic guy and not get the job done. They should replace him with a new team principal. It's worked with McLaren, it's worked with Williams, the resurgence. There's so many teams that are having resurgences because of replacing the team principal. Now, that won't work at Ferrari because everything's systemic and you can't do anything even if you're the team principal. It's all, an organization of generational people. But at these other Formula One teams where they're trying to break into new success, you're not having the success that you should be having at a Haas. They're now one of the worst cars on the grid. Kevin Magnussen languishing back into last place the entire race. Them not able to get anything done. Nico Hülkenberg able to pull a 7th here because he qualified well and he's at certain tracks where there's not a lot of DRS and it's kind of a parade where he gets DRS off the car in front of him and then the DRS behind him can't be activated because he's getting DRS at the same time. That's really the only way Haas is getting points, how Nico Hülkenberg is getting them points. So not only do you have to get rid of Kevin Magnussen, who had his chance in Formula One, he's lucky he even got a revival here. He did a good job at the first race last season. You have a guy in Nico Hülkenberg who should be paired by an equally good driver. I don't know where they're exactly going to go with it. Maybe, I don't even know. If they were to replace Guenther Steiner, maybe they could bring back a Mick Schumacher in the fold because those teams really don't hold on to those grudges like other, entrenched teams like a Ferrari or a Red Bull. But he must go. He must go now. and it's correct to get rid of Guenther Steiner, replace someone new, get energy at that team, take the energy that McLaren's using, take the energy that Williams is using, take the energy of all the teams that are improving and making Formula One out to be at least more fighting in the middle pack, if not the front pack, and use that energy and knowledge and data that you've seen other teams able to improve with changes in orders and team principles, and do that with Guenther Steiner. They should fire him now.